What does it mean to have a change of heart? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. When a person is self-governing, that means that they are having a change of heart. So in this video, we're going to talk about having a change of heart and what self-government really means. In this video, we're going to talk about self-government, what that means, and some examples of people who have had a heart change because of self-government, and then go into some details about self-government as well as other principles that you're going to want to keep in mind for having a change of heart. So what is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you understand cause and effect as it relates to your behaviors and your relationships. But it also means that you're not afraid to self-assess yourself. That means you look at you on a regular basis and say, am I becoming the version of me that I know I ought to be? There is a difference between ought and want, and that ought is infinitely more impactful to consider. So, am I who I ought to be? And if not, then what changes do I need to make to become the version of myself that I ought to become? When a person is self-governing, the person makes a plan for themselves, and then they follow through with the plan, and then they examine if the plan actually worked to help them become that better version of themselves. And if it did, great. But if it didn't, then they make new plans for themselves so that they can problem solve. When a person is self-governing, they are staying in the prefrontal cortex of their brain so that they can be problem solving all of the time. Now, when you fix something about yourself willingly, that means you are having a change of heart. We are made up of 3 different parts. This is according to C.S. Lewis. He wrote something called Men Without Chests way back in the 1940s or 50s. And he said in there that at that time, the world was in danger of being taken over by men without chests. And what he meant was men without heart. So he said that we had 3 different parts. So we have our body, our mind, our brain, and then our chest or our heart. And they all serve different functions. And if the wrong one is leading out, then the person is in trouble. He determined that it's the chest voice or the heart voice that really should lead out. But oftentimes these other voices get in the way and distract us from following our true heart voice. So let's talk about the body voice. The body voice is the voice that is all of your emotions and your senses and your feelings, like, are you cold? Are you hot? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you offended? Are you chemically altered because it's a certain time of the month or year? You know, what's going on? Those are all physical things that are part of your body voice, okay? And then there are the things associated with your brain or your mind voice. Now, he called the brain the puppet. He said the puppet could be controlled by any of the other voices very easily. That's definitely true. So if the body voice is like, I'm too tired, I don't want to wake up, then that body voice is going to convince the brain that it did not get enough sleep. It will start to use all kinds of different rationalizations, and then that body will end up pushing the snooze button and the person will not wake up. Anyway, this is how the brain can work with the body. So the brain can also be the leader sometimes if the brain is, you know, cognitively reasoning things out and stuff like that. But sometimes the brain can be misleading to the rest of the body as well. So the brain can be appealed to by lots of people. Other sources can try to convince the brain that something is true when maybe it's not. And then the brain can start the whole body and heart on this other course that it wouldn't normally pursue, and could get the heart wanting something that it might not even want. So here's the thing with the heart voice or the chest voice. That is the will of the person. So your will is your desire for something. And this is like not a bodily desire, but like it's that ought thing again. Who ought I to become? And so you say to yourself, okay, what is it that I know I should do? Or how should I spend my money here? Or, those types of things. What would be the right thing? This is where the moral comes in, okay? So when a person has a strong will or a strong moral compass, a strong sense of belief, character development, all of those things, that's going to be stuff that's in that heart voice. Okay, and if the heart is leading the brain and the body, which is the ideal, then what would happen is when the alarm goes off in the morning, the heart would say, it doesn't matter how tired you are, body. We already planned to get up and we have to. Otherwise, things won't go right today. So, body, do not touch the alarm clock. And the brain voice is just silenced, and it has to do what the heart voice says it needs to do. Any person that wins a race or even just runs a race and finishes it is a person who lets their heart voice win out. It's the will. They're so tired physically, they don't even know how they're going to keep doing it. But somehow they can. I mean, think childbirth. It's the same thing. Also, think learning to walk. Little children don't cognitively prepare for learning how to walk. They just practice it, and they want to get from one place to another. And that's why they end up taking those steps. It's all very much will or heart driven. And it's not till after that that they figured out what they actually did in the process of taking those little steps and walking. So the heart's huge. It's the foundation. It's the center of everything. And I know there are many people who their hearts get bent, twisted, selfish, and then the will of the person becomes selfish, becomes captive by oftentimes the body voice, sometimes the brain voice, or sometimes the heart just even becomes corrupted. So how do we change the heart or help someone have a change of heart so that they can become that person they ought to become? Well, one thing we do is we make sure to give them responsibility for a lot of things related to themselves. Now, don't get me wrong there. Parents do have a responsibility over their children, the training of their children, and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have a responsibility for the happiness of your child. You don't have the responsibility of whether your child chooses to be calm or not. Those are things that the child has to choose. You don't have a responsibility over whether your child chooses to work hard or not. That's something that the child chooses. And so giving them some stewardships, ownerships, responsibilities over some things is going to help them. So a key part of learning self-government is having to take personal responsibility. Okay, I'm going to share with you some of the things that you can do to help your children take personal responsibility and start down that track of having a heart change. But before I do, click that subscribe button now. This video and everything on this channel is dedicated to helping your family thrive during these difficult times. And when we get more subscribes on the channel, then more people see the channel. So that's how it works with YouTube. So go ahead and just subscribe now so that more people find this great stuff and then see how our culture will shift. To help someone have a change of heart is oftentimes something that is environmental. So a person can have a change of heart just because of, a soft-heartedness that they have just by nature. But usually it's something that's nurtured within a person, because oftentimes when we're young, we're pretty selfish and we have to learn to care. We have to learn to achieve, learn to empower ourselves to move forward. We need to set up an environment where a person learns that they get to take responsibility for themselves, that they get to push themselves forward, that choosing calmness and choosing good relationships is something that they are capable of doing, even if it's a bad day or they feel like they've just made a mistake. So it really is a liberating thing. The number one thing you're going to want to do is teach your children what self-government is. Now remember, at the beginning of this video, I shared the definition of self-government. So teach them what that actually means. Do they recognize that oftentimes they are not considering the cause and effect of every given situation? They don't recognize that when they don't do what they're instructed to do by their parents, they lose the trust of their parents, or at least some of the trust of their parents. If they're not kind and communicate well with their friends, they actually can lose their friends, or their friends start to feel distant from them or judge them or not trust them. Trust has a whole lot to do with integrity that a person has, and integrity is woven into little moments of all of our relationships, and it has a lot to do with a person choosing to be in control of themselves. So teaching our children about self-government, about their character development, about integrity are really powerful things. It's also great to make sure that you expose your children to stories of people who have changes of heart. So I'm talking about the hero's journey. Don't waste your time on stories where the hero does not accomplish anything great or doesn't overcome any problem with himself. There are a lot of things out there for children nowadays that are quite frankly meaningless. I hate to point fingers, but have you ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants? No offense if you like it, but I always told my children that SpongeBob shrinks your brain, because literally I'm watching a show about a person making a pancake. What is that? That is nothing. You get nothing out of it. There's no moral, no character, no virtue, no even problem solving. Really, it's just like, well, what do you want? What kind of a pancake? You know, or that's not my favorite pancake. My favorite pancake is this. Holy cow. It's all entitlement, just dumb stuff. So make sure that what you watch, what you read, what you discuss has substance to it. And it always comes back from answering the questions: what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is true, what is false. This will help your children have a good condition of heart. Another thing that is really necessary for creating a good environment where a person can have a change of heart is having skills that they can learn to solve their problems. So everyone needs skills. There are 4 adult skills that actually are perfect to teach to children, and they are called the 4 basic skills. The 4 basic skills teach children to follow instructions, accept no answers and criticism, accept consequences, and disagree appropriately. When a person learns those 4 basic skills, that takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. It also teaches them that choosing to be calm, to say okay and be okay, to drop a subject, to understand another person are all up to them, because those are some of the steps within those skills. Each one of those skills has a skill set attached to it with different steps that teach the child they get to choose. This is important. In order to have a change of heart, you have to know that you're the one that gets to choose. Now, why would a person ever be motivated to make a right choice in the first place? Some people are motivated from the inside out. Other people are motivated from the outside in. Ideally, your child's motivated from the inside out, and you say, you know what, honey, it's right for you to obey mom and to follow instructions every time she gives them, okay? And your child would say, oh, that's right, that makes sense. Okay, I will always follow my instructions from my mom, and I will just never not. But most of us know that our strong-willed children, who I like to call strong spirits, who are born at this time in the world, they get their own ideas, right? And they're not so easily compliable. Not compliable? Is that a word? I think I just made it up. They don't as easily comply as what I just mentioned. So, how do you help them desire? Well, sometimes you have to work from the outside in. Of course, we're still teaching with all the stuff on the inside for the heart, making sure that we appeal to the heart at any given time, whenever we're doing any teaching, correcting, praising, any interacting with our children. But Sometimes we also have to set up a structure on the outside so that they know if we don't follow instructions, which is one of our 4 basic skills, then this is how it will be corrected, and you will get the opportunity to accept a negative consequence. Because it is an opportunity, because you're teaching them. You are helping them know how to have a change of heart. If they can learn to accept a consequence and take that type of responsibility, then they can learn to change their heart at any given time that they need to. Now, this may sound advanced, but even children that are toddlers can learn to do this. My children, from the time they were 2 years old, could learn how to disagree appropriately, accept consequences, accept no answers, and follow instructions. They knew what a calm face, voice, and body was. They knew how to drop a subject and how to seek understanding from their parents. They can learn things when they are very young if you take the time to teach it. And I want to make sure that I teach you how to teach it. So I highly recommend after this video, watch my next video, which is how to help your child have a change of heart. And I will talk about how to set up that environment where they will accept corrections and use them from the outside in to have that heart change.